By the way, isn't that breeze nice? Do you feel the breeze? Because I don't want anybody going on me. We need every voter. I don't care about you. I just want your vote. I don't care.
That was Donald Trump at his rally in Las Vegas, telling his supporters that he does not give a shit about them and doesn't care if they die, as long as they do so after they cast their vote for him in November for the 2024 election. And this is D Knight from the Pardon the Insurrection podcast. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Unlike Trump, I actually want you to live. I care about your well-being. I think you're better off being here than in the afterlife. But as I was saying, Trump's rally in Nevada, he accidentally told them the truth. He doesn't care about them at all. And look, I don't think there's been a presidential candidate in the history of American politics that cares about their supporters less. And we've got plenty of evidence of that. Even just a couple of days ago at his rally in Arizona, where numerous Trump supporters had to be hospitalized thanks to the heat. And that was just from waiting outside in line. Even though the event was held inside, they still couldn't handle it. And yet Trump did nothing to address the heat in Las Vegas today. Also, even going back to 2020, there's plenty of evidence to suggest that Trump just gives zero shits about his supporters' well-being, like leaving them outside in the cold, or holding massive rallies in the middle of the pandemic while telling them not to mask, creating these super spreader events. Hell, Trump's even responsible for the death of the most famous Republican in America at the time, Herman Cain. Haven't brought him up since, have they? But yeah, it's just insane that people continue to support this person, even though he certainly not only doesn't have their best interests at heart, he's actively doing things to cause them harm. But I guess that's how cults work, I suppose. Also an extraordinarily viable election strategy, try and get your voters killed. At least that probably helps out Joe Biden. But as insane as that scene, the rally in Las Vegas went even further off the rails.
We don't have enough time. We only have a few hours. We don't have enough time. And now, by the way, it's 110, but it doesn't feel it to me, right? So we'll stay out here for a little while. If anybody gets tired, you'll let me know. And if anybody goes down, if you start going down, we have people, they'll pick you up right away. They'll throw water. They were so worried. Everybody was so worried yesterday about you. And they never mentioned me. I'm up here sweating like a dog. Secret Service said, we have to make sure everyone's safe. I said, what about me? We never thought of that. They don't think about me. I'm working my ass off. I'm working hard.
It's incredible that Trump manages to schedule these rallies in such a fashion that it's super inconvenient for his supporters and having them melt to death, and while also acknowledging their suffering and then still find a way to make it all about himself. That's incredible. Also, if it's like 110 degrees, why is he wearing a jacket? Just take that off. This man is insane. Oh, he's also managed to find his Sesame Street word of the day.
It's bullshit what he signed. That's turning out to be like a deplorable. Remember deplorable when Hillary said deplorable? She said deplorable, and that was not good. That was not a good word to use. This word seems to be catching on a little bit, but in a much more positive way than deplorable.
I don't know how he came to the conclusion that bullshit is somehow more of an acceptable term than deplorables, but, his cult ate it up. They swallow whatever he throws out there, hook, line, and sinker. And if you think he's insane, he did happen to comment on his cognitive abilities.
No. I had a second test. I aced it. I aced both of them. Not easy to ace.
In case you were wondering, a cognitive test, it's not like an aptitude test or an intelligence quotient test. It's not something you can ace. You either pass it or you fail it. And if you pass it, it just means it's not necessarily evidence that you're suffering from some sort of brain damage or cognitive decline. It's such a simplistic test. I feel as though bragging that you passed it should be evidence that you failed it. But in case you were wondering if maybe it's not Trump's cognitive decline that's the problem, but perhaps he's on some sort of drugs, well, he addressed that issue as well.
Before the debate in 2 weeks, he should take a drug test because I'm willing to take one.
Debate aside, As part of his conviction in the election interference / hush money trial, he's scheduled to have a probation hearing Monday morning, and I'm sure that as part of his sentencing, that will include some form of drug testing that he'll be unable to avoid anyway. But if you were looking for evidence on whether or not he could pass, I think this rally presented quite a bit.
By the way, just in case you're wondering, I got no teleprompters, and I haven't from the beginning. These people. That probably means we'll make a better speech. And no third, I'll tell you what, I wish the cameras would focus on the people here. They never show it. I do a great show with Sean Hannity or Jesse or Janine or Laura or somebody, and we do a great show, or a lot of great people. And then they put on commercials that are just horrible, and they're false. I say, what the hell are you putting commercials on like that? I do a show, and then they put 4 commercials on. It is so stupid. I hope the military revolts at the voting booth and just says, we're not going to take it. He just came up. Are the teleprompters not working, sir? Not even a little bit. Great job. And then I don't pay the company that does it, right? And then I end up with a story Trump doesn't pay. I don't pay contractors that do a shitty job. Named Jack Smith. He's a deranged, dumb guy. He's a dumb son of a bitch. About war on the workers of America, especially African Americans and Hispanic and American. But I saw George Slopadopoulous. It is crazy. The illegal immigrants are turning, and they're turning at a level that nobody's ever seen before. They're fighting our families. They're totally destroying our black population. They're totally destroying our Hispanic population. And it must be because of MIT, my relationship to MIT. Very smart. He goes, I say, what would happen if the boat sank from its weight, and you're in the boat, and you have this tremendously powerful battery, and the battery's now underwater, and there's a shark that's approximately 10 yards over there. By the way, a lot of shark attacks lately. Do you notice that? A lot of shark. I watched some guys justifying it today. Well, they weren't really that angry. They bit off the young lady's leg because of the fact that they were not hungry, but they misunderstood who she was. These people are crazy. He said there's no problem with sharks. They just didn't really understand a young woman swimming now really got decimated, and other people too. A lot of shark attacks. So I said, so there's a shark 10 yards away from the boat, 10 yards, or here. Do I get electrocuted? If the boat is sinking, water goes over the battery, the boat is sinking. Do I stay on top of the boat and get electrocuted? Or do I jump over by the shark and not get electrocuted? Because I will tell you, he didn't know the answer. He said, nobody's ever asked me that question. I said, I think it's a good question. I think there's a lot of electric current coming through that water. But you know what I'd do if there was a shark or you get electrocuted? I'll take electrocution every single time. I'm not getting near the shark. So we're going to end that. We're going to end it for boats. We're going to end it for trucks.
I don't know about you all, but I don't think he can pass that drug test. Probably couldn't pass that cognitive test again either. But here's Trump complaining that if he forgot what state he was in, the media would be saying that his political career is over, totally forgetting that just a couple of days ago, he forgot what state he was in.
He was in Iowa. He always does that. If I ever did that, it would be over. They'd say that's the end of his political career. He's cognitively impaired. Here in Texas, and by the way, the governor of Texas has done a very good.
I wish the media would flood the internet with articles and headlines suggesting that Trump's political career is finished, but they're too busy worried about ratings than saving our democracy, I guess, or facts for that matter. But here's Trump suggesting his followers find yet another way to die.
Wouldn't it be incredible? He's gone to 250 if he voted for Biden. He's going to vote for Biden. I don't think so. I think it would be suicide before Biden, right?
Here's Trump suggesting yet another way for us all to die by suggesting that he'll bring the country back to where it was 4 years ago. Hint, 4 years ago, we couldn't go outside for fear of death, and we were all concerned that the country was going to end thanks to his mismanagement of a pandemic.
We're going to turn this country around. We're going to turn it around really fast. We're going to do the things that you've wanted to do. We're going to bring it back to 4 years ago and do even more.
And if you think that Trump is simply a drug-addled moron with cognitive decline, you wouldn't be wrong, but he's also extraordinarily dangerous, as you can tell by his plans for when he takes office, should he win the election in November.
We're taking back our country. So when we get in, it's going to go very rapidly. We're going to do a lot of things. We're going to look very strongly at J6. Those people, there has never been people treated more horrifically than J6 hostages.
I think the officers who spent hours fighting at the Capitol on January 6th to protect our legislative branch would have something to say about that. But look, you've listened to Trump's own words here. He's clearly crazy. Not only is he not qualified to hold any political office whatsoever, he's certainly not qualified to be the president of the United States. I mean, his company's been convicted of crimes. His employees have been convicted of crimes. His campaign manager has been convicted of crimes. He's been found liable for sexual assault and defamation and fraud, and he's been convicted on 34 felonies, and we don't even know if he's going to have to serve prison time. Clearly, this man is not fit for any sort of office whatsoever. No one should be voting for this man, including his own supporters, whom Trump just told that he doesn't care about them whatsoever, and he's totally fine letting them die once they vote for him. Like, just the fact that this man is even this far away from potentially being a president of the United States, it's embarrassing and horrifying, to say the least. But you've seen how crazy this is. Make sure you share this video with everyone that you know so they can see the truth for themselves. And if you enjoyed this content, make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you haven't done so already, leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if you could find me on my personal podcast, Pardon the Insurrection, available everywhere podcasts are found and also on YouTube.